Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has won her fourth straight term as her party has secured an absolute majority in Sunday's general election. That's been announced by the country's election commission earlier today. However, the recent election has been shrouded in controversy, facing a low voter turnout and a boycott by the main opposition, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. Unofficial results disclosed by the election commission indicate that the Awami League has claimed 165 out of 224 seats, while the fate of the remaining seats is yet to be revealed. The BNP, absent from the 2014 elections, boycotted this round, demanding Hasina's resignation and the appointment of a neutral authority. This move triggered a nationwide two-day strike, while BNP has been urging people to refrain from participating in the election. In response, Hasina has accused the opposition of fueling anti-government protests in Dhaka since late October, resulting in at least 14 casualties. Sunday's election witnessed a significant drop in voter participation marked by violence, with a turnout of about 40%. A notable contrast to the 80% recorded in 2018, according to the Election Commission. The election encompassed 299 directly elected parliamentary seats with nearly 2,000 contestants and close to 120 million voters. Unfortunately, one seat will undergo a delayed election due to the passing of an independent contestant, albeit by natural causes, before the vote. Critics of Prime Minister Hasina underscore concerns of authoritarianism, human rights violations and restrictions on freedom of speech and dissent. The economy has also slowed sharply since the Russia-Ukraine war pushed up prices of fuel and food imports, forcing Bangladesh to turn last year to the International Monetary Fund for a bailout of $4.7 billion. Meanwhile, Bangladesh's Deshis have reacted to Hasina's win.
ভোট তো দেখলাম ভোট কেন্দ্রের লোকজন কম, আর নতুন সরকারের কাছে আর কি চাবো? আমার তো জনগণের তো কোনো হয় নাই, অধিকার নেই, আর কি চাবো?
দ্রব্যমূল্য যে ঊর্ধ্বগতিটা, আর সরকার কিছু আমাদের গরিবের খাদ্যের উপর যেন আপনার ভর্তুকিদের ট্যাক্স কমায়, এটা আমাদের দরকার। আমরা আর কিছু চাই না, আমরা সব যে আমরা আমাদের এটাই প্রয়োজন।
যেহেতু একটা দল বড় একটা দল অংশগ্রহণ করে নাই, সেই হিসাবে হয়তো জনগণের উপস্থিতি একটু কম ছিল, নাহলে তো স্বাভাবিকই থাকলো।
বেকার সমস্যা যেটা রয়ে গেছে, কারণ বর্তমান বাংলাদেশে ইয়াং জেনারেশন সংখ্যাটা অনেক বেশি, তারা মধ্যপ্রাচ্য বা বিভিন্ন দেশে চলে যাওয়ার জন্য চেষ্টা করে, কিন্তু এটা বাংলাদেশে তো আমাদের, তাহলে আমাদের যদি এই বাংলাদেশ হয় তাহলে সেটা আমাদেরকেই সেভাবে এটা গড়ে তুলতে হবে।
চালের দাম বেশি, আনাজ তরকারির দাম বেশি, কেমনে বাঁচি গরিব মানুষ।
All right, let's now go across to our guest, Salim Samad, senior journalist who joins us from Dhaka at this point. Salim Samad, thanks so much for joining us here on News9 Live. Fourth consecutive term for Sheikh Hasina, but a lot of questions being raised around the globe about the very credibility of this election, given that the opposition party did not even participate. So the question really is, first and foremost, how are the average people in Bangladesh viewing this election, the fact that Sheikh Hasina has won a fourth straight term under these circumstances? And are they hopeful that she can turn around the economy and deal with some of the biggest challenges that Bangladesh currently faces? Could you please unmute yourself, Salim? We can't hear you.
Thank you for having me. Sheikh Hasina's election yesterday on Sunday was in fact an election between the Awami League versus the Awami League. So all the candidates, the independent candidates have been elected are all from the Awami League. So obviously you can understand that literally there is no even opposition in the parliament. So it will be the first challenge for Sheikh Hasina would be to in fact to create an opposition, or to discover an opposition who is going to sit on the other side of in the parliament. That's the first issue. So the second is obviously the violence that has been heard since yesterday is all between Awami League and Awami League, because they in fact fought the election. Those who were aspired to get a nomination, they did not get a nomination. So they obviously stood as an independent candidate. But for me, I describe them as a rebel candidate. So most of the rebel candidates have won. the election. So that is again a question that has been raised in the Awami League inner circle, that why have they been nominated in the Awami League ticket to contest when the people in that region has not accepted them. But despite the low turnout, that is one of the reason is not because of the boycott. That can be one reason, but one of the major reason is the election commission. That's not a responsible election commission. The Awami League, the major party who contested in all the seats, they had failed to bring the new generation voters. I mean, the first time voters. They also could fail to even get the second time voter who had already voted in the last election. They also did not turn up in the election center. So that is one of the reasons there was a huge gap between the voters and the who has not been able to cast their vote. And of course, there was few violence, and of course, the violence had discouraged the voters. That is a very sporadic. So this is what I can tell you.
Salim, let me ask you this. You're talking about the voter turnout. The younger voters clearly were not enthused enough to participate in this election. Many of them said, we know Sheikh Hasina is coming back to power. There is no other party in the frame. What should we even vote for? To what extent do you think that is likely to affect the future of Bangladesh? What kind of reactions have come in from the West? The Biden administration in particular, correct me if I'm wrong, has repeatedly expressed concern about the political violence in Bangladesh and the fact that this has largely not been seen as a free and fair election or a credible one for that matter.
I totally agree with you. It is not only the United States, but United Nations, as well as Canada, European Union, even Japan has also expressed concern of the credibility of the election. So everybody points fingers towards United States. Of course, why not? Everybody wants to just talk about the United States, not other countries that has already been a partner. But one thing is very, very important, that if you look into the countries where there are several countries where the media has also been very vocal. Even India, I mean, even yesterday, even today, I saw many India very critical of like the Dainik Bhaskar, for example. I don't want to name other newspapers, are very critical of what happened yesterday. But most interesting is there is an anti-China lobby in the West. So that also has to be taken into consideration. I am not sure how Sheikh Hasina is going to accept this challenge and how she's going to go about it. But the most important thing, it is not only India who doesn't want China to be in the South Asia. It is also United States as well as Japan, for example. Japan is very bitter critic of China doing projects in Bangladesh. Japan has openly stated that. And even the visit to Japan by Sheikh Hasina were not very recently. She was also briefed that they don't want to see China in India, in Bangladesh. Of course, India is also very skeptical about the China's role. So obviously, you can understand that Sheikh Hasina will be more busy or more trying to organize how to go about with this axis of anti-China lobby. And of course, there is one issue that I have to mention, that majority of the Awami League leadership, those who are prospective to be again ministers, they are all pro-Chinese. It is not only the pro-left. There is no left party in Bangladesh now. There is no socialist party in Bangladesh. There is no Marxist party in Bangladesh. So you can see it is not only the BNPs, of course, BNP have not participated, and they have obvious reasons not to participate. That is not an issue. But other than the other parties, you will find that only Awami League is very favorable, especially the leadership is favorable to China, and that really worries Delhi.